everyone, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see I shall be giving a detailed guide on repeaters and how to effectively use them, while also pointing out which repeater weapons, mods, chambers and cells would be useful to use for repeaters. Repeaters are a very unique weapon due to the design process of them being guns, and they are at its best when you are up close to the behemoth. Repeaters have a huge damage fall off when you are further away from the behemoth, therefore the weapon's main purpose is to be up close. Repeaters also only deal part damage unless you have certain particular cells like acidic or weighted strikes, in which I highly recommend not using. There is a state in repeaters called the empowered state, in which it activates when you reload your repeaters up close to the behemoth. This state increases your damage and speeds up the time it takes to use your chambers. Be aware though that reloading your repeaters is an animation that you can't cancel unless you get hit by a hostile force, so it is best to know when you should reload your repeaters in particular scenarios. In order to know if you're dealing the maximum damage, there is an interesting crosshair when you are using the repeaters. If the crosshair is big and noticeable, like this one, it means you are dealing the maximum amount of damage, which is good. But if your crosshair looks like this, you need to move closer to the behemoth to deal the best amount of damage you can offer. Okay, so now you know how to use repeaters effectively, but how do you know which weapon of repeaters you should use, or which chambers would best suit the situation you'll be in, and which mods would be good to have? A crucial fact to know about repeaters is that it is very heavy on DPS and part damage, meaning you need the speed and damage to keep your DPS consistent. Keystone repeater weapons are a bit tricky in the sense that they are all good, but some can significantly bring your DPS down, whether it's the attack speed or one of the repeater weapon bonds you are using. Here are some of my recommendations. The repeater weapons I use the most are the Dynamic Deadlight's Malkavian weapon with the bond of Savit's Avengers. These repeater weapons are the best weapons in terms of DPS due to Savit's bond. Once charged, your next weapon Sling/Shot unleashes a boomerang projectile that frequently deals 325 shock damage minimum to any target hit. Dodging for an attack reduces charge cooldown. Now with this special and a good build, you can see a damage estimate around 2000 to 2500 damage with just one hit alone. Therefore there is a high chance the behemoth will have a part broken, giving you the chance to kill it without too much of a hassle. Savit's weapon also offers a free plus free pulse, though these weapons do require attack speed cells like Catalyst or Assassin's Frenzy. However, if you do want a free attack speed cell while also having the weapon doing good DPS, Thrax's weapon Eldritch Torment with her Stalker's weapon Stalker's Cry shall do the trick. Dealing damage has a chance, based on damage dealt, to generate a shadow orb that increases damage dealt by 2.25% for 5 seconds. If 5 or more orbs are present, the bonus doubles. Statistically speaking, if you are keeping a consistent DPS with these repeaters while the orbs are being activated, you are dealing plus 18% more damage, which is quite insane. You should also get a free plus free Assassin's Frenzy cell to top it off. While these are my recommendations, be sure to check out the other Keystone repeater weapons and their bonds and see which weapon suits you. Unlike the Keystone repeater weapons that took a bit to explain, the chambers are straightforward. At the moment we only have 3 chambers in the game with repeaters. The first chamber is the full bore chamber. Fires a piercing bolt in a line, dealing damage that falls as it travels. Empower deals greatly increased damage and pushes the Slayer backwards. I use this chamber the most because usually I encounter long-sized behemoths. The pushback can also help me dodge frisky situations like a rage animation. Overall, the full bore chamber is a great chamber to use, but it isn't the best in terms of DPS. The chamber that has the most DPS is the Marksman chamber. Fires a shot in line, dealing 350 damage to the first behemoth hit. If a part is struck, that part takes 25% more damage from shots for 10 seconds. In the empowered version, damage bonus increased to 60% and 25% to all allies. This chamber is the strongest chamber out of the 3, and I do recommend using it if you really want high DPS with repeaters. The reason why I myself don't use it that often casually is due to the fact that behemoths move around a lot, therefore not giving me a chance to shoot at the designated part I marked. The last chamber is the Salvo chamber. This chamber is straightforward. The Salvo chamber fires a singular missile shot that deals 450 damage in an area upon impact. In the empowered state, it fires 3 missile lines in a spread. Even though the Salvo chamber is the weakest of the 3 chambers, it certainly is good enough for it to be effective against behemoths. So overall, the best chamber would be Marksman, but full bore chamber is also recommended for certain behemoths like Charog, Shroud, etc. For the grips, which are the other section of the chambers, I recommend just only using Captain's Grip since it increases your attack speed, and when you do use it while you're empowered, you buff the whole team's attack speed. For the mods, I only recommend 2 of the mods. One is the Precision Sights, which increases damage when attacking the same part multiple times. And if you have a low crit chance with your build, then the Lucky Magazine mod should help due to the mod increasing your crit chance for each round missing from the magazine. Finally, what cells to use for repeaters? The main cells to use for repeaters are Berserker, Overpower, Cunning, Predator, and Pulse. I am excluding attack speed cells like Catalyst and Assassin's Frenzy due to it being your choice whether you want to run with it or not. With these cells you can deal loads of damage with repeaters. Other cells like Galvanize can also be used depending if your build is shield focused or not. Thank you for watching the guide to repeaters. If this has helped you or taught you anything about repeaters, please subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.